Hello and welcome to another MiTunes podcast right here at manxradio.com.
Marc, Tyley, the nation station, Manx Radio.
This week on MiTunes, I've got a journalist who's been very, very busy travelling the world and really cut her teeth in South Africa. We'll talk a lot about that, but she's here on Manx Radio. So please welcome to MiTunes, Chanelle Sukhoo. Welcome to MiTunes.
Hi, Mark. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to get behind the scenes. We've done a few of these, and they've been very, very interesting, because I want to take you right back to South Africa. Were you born there?
I was born, yes. I'm a fifth generation South African Indian.
Okay.
So fifth generation meaning I am the fifth generation in my family born in South Africa.
And who was it that came over? Which ancestor of yours moved to South Africa?
This would be my great-great-grandparents.
Right.
I think it was in July 1878.
Wow.
That's when the journey starts. And it starts from Faiziabad.
Yes.
Faiziabad,
Yep.
yeah. He came from the port of Calcutta and he arrived in Natal. Durban or KwaZulu-Natal was known as Natal then, to work on a sugarcane farm.
Okay.
So my dad always told me that, Chanelle, you come from a lineage of farmers and fishermen.
And what was behind his move from India to Africa?
I think it was around the time, when the British was colonizing India and colonizing all of the areas. They were moving Indians around for slavery. The Indians in South Africa were placed there to work. They were taken from their families, which is a terrible thing to say, but this is how we've been told. The stories we've heard, they were taken from India, either told, there's a better life for you here, or come with us, or maybe they wanted to leave, I'm not sure. But he had traveled on his own, and my maternal great-great-grandmom, she came with her family, and they kind of met in Durban, and that's how they settled down. He lived in Natal, and he worked as a sugarcane farmer, and so did his children and his children after them. So my granddad was the youngest of 5 brothers. The elder brother, he didn't have a farm because back then Indians couldn't own farms because, you still had the whole slavery and stuff. So my grandfather's big brother, he kind of leased this farm, his father's farm, and they worked on the farm. And my granddad, because he was the youngest one, I think he was a bit more fortunate in the sense that he could go out and get a job. So he actually managed to get a job in sales with PG Bison. So he worked with them until he got ill and he eventually passed on. My dad and his generation, they are the first in our family to have actually went through to university and graduated with a degree.
Remarkable story. It's the whole area of what you've just described about movement of people from India into South Africa is something that I certainly knew nothing about. I mean, the slave trade going across to the Caribbean and to the Americas, yes, we had an awful lot of that in school, and we were told what went on and the horrors of that. But I had no idea about the movement of people from India into South Africa.
Yeah, they were taken in as slaves.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. Have you ever been back to the region of India where your ancestors came from?
I haven't. Hopefully one day we would do it. I'd like to go out with my dad, actually. A few years back, my dad and we were very interested. It was actually my dad, an uncle, Vinesh Maniram. My dad is Ravindra Lachman. So my dad, my uncle, myself, my aunt, a few family members, we were quite interested because we had these indentured ship lists that were released. And through those ship lists, you could kind of track your ancestry. And I remember we were with one of my grandfather's brothers, the only surviving brother at that time. And he said, I remember I had an aunt that was born on board. Now you've got about 4 ship lists with thousands of names and numbers, indenture numbers on it. Where do you even start? So we started off by searching born on board, and we found the lady's name. Her name was Lachmania. So the moment we saw her name, it clicked with him, and I think we had a document, and on that document it had her indentured number. So it also said born on board, and next to her name it had her parents' indentured number. And that's how we figured out, the town and the village and how our lineage traced back. So that was my dad's project. He researched it. He went through to, I think, the consulate, and he got whatever documents to confirm that that is our ancestry. And what my uncle had gone and done with that is he's now created a biography. So he's written a book, Made in Meerbank, and it talks about the journey in India, how it came down, and what we are doing now, and how we've taken ourselves up.
Great research. Well, I hope you do get to make that trip at some stage. Let's have your first piece of music and talk me into the reason behind choosing Avicii.
Avicii. So, as you heard, I'm very passionate about family, right? And one member of my family that I didn't mention is my brother, my dear brother. His name's Yashveer. So every time we're together, he always plays a song, and he always plays the Avicii Hey Brother song. And he'll give me a sly little look on the side and a little smile as well. And I think this is our song. So something close to him, my best friend. There we go. That's for him.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, sister, know the water's sweet, but blood is thicker. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey, brother, do you still believe in one another? Hey, sister, do you still believe in love? I wonder. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't
My guest on MiTunes all this week is Manx Radio's Chanelle Sukhoo, although her journalism goes back way before coming over here to the Isle of Man. So I'm going to put this to you straight away, Chanelle. When did you start getting interested in journalism?
Oh, this is an interesting one. So, when I was finishing school, I was 18, right? And, you kind of have an idea what you want to do. So you go to university and you apply for a few different subjects. Now, me being young, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. So my dad took me to the applications office. 6 subjects I put in. What was it? I put in food technology and biotechnology and, all the big fancy words. And I came down to the 6th one and my dad put journalist. And I said, Dad, journalism? I'm not sure. And he said, trust me. And I did. And journalism was the first letter that I got an acceptance for. I went through for the test and I was accepted to study, even though I was still completing my final year in school. So journalism started because of my dad, and ever since I've done it, I've loved it. I can't see myself being anywhere else or sitting, behind an office doing a normal office desk job.
I don't know if I'm going to take a guess here. I reckon you were a very inquisitive child and always asking questions. Am I right?
Probably, yes. My dad said it was because when I was younger, I liked to write stories.
Okay.
That's what he said, yeah.
Yeah. So you went off to university.
Yes.
And was it a print journalism or was it a multimedia journalism course? How did it run?
So it was just a broad multimedia journalism course where you can choose in your final year broadcast or print. And I had chosen broadcast as my major. When I was in my first year, one of the lecturers had given us the opportunity to go to a community radio station. So it was about 5 of us that went through, and they had given us the chance to do one news bulletin, on that day. And I remember doing it, and the station manager, he kept smiling at me as I read it. And somehow I just stuck to the building. Week after week, I'd chat to the newsreaders, or they'd email me or message me and say, hi, Chanelle, would you mind covering this weekend? Or would you shadow us? Or both of us are ill. Would you mind coming in? So that's how that's how my career started, I guess.
Foot in the door, and you said, the rest of me is coming in.
Yep.
You said
can't get rid of me now.
And this was a community station for the community of Indians in South Africa?
Yes, the Hindu community. The Hindu
right.
community. So it was Radio Hindwani. And that's how it started, news reading at Radio Hindwani.
And which part of South Africa was that?
All in Durban.
All in Durban.
All in Durban.
So the university was Durban as well?
It's my university, yes.
Back in there. Okay. Dad knew. I think for today's bit of music, we better have something from South Africa.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So what are we going to have?
Today we're going to have the Parlotones. It's a beautiful song. It's called I'll Be There. Now, this one is one of my top 5 songs. It's also one of my husband's top 5 songs. We've seen the Parlotones a few times, and I remember the first time seeing them and seeing this song, it was at a Valentine's Day event that we had both attended, and I've loved it ever since.
Still beauty, colorful. These blossoms are ever bloom. Can't promise, 'cause just like hearts, they get broken. But I try my hardest. Even if you're rich, even if you're poor, every breath you breathe, I'll be there for you. Even if you're strong, even if you're not, every breath you breathe, I'll be there. Angelic, little princess, I wanna wake up to your face every morning. Another love song, a silly love song, but it's our song and it's forever. Even if you're rich, even if you're poor, every breath you breathe, song is forever. This song is forever. This song is forever. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. Even if you're rich, even if you're poor, every breath you breathe, I'll be there for you. Even if you're strong, even if you're not, every breath you breathe, I'll be there for you. Even if you're rich, even if you're poor, every breath you breathe, I'll be there for you. Even if you're strong, even if you're not, every breath you breathe, I'll be there for you. This song is forever. 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 I'll be there.
Yesterday, my MiTunes guest, Chanelle Sukhoo, from the Isle of Man's Manx Radio's newsroom, but originally from South Africa, told us a little bit about work on a community station, a Hindu station in Durban. What she didn't mention, but very kindly she tipped me off, was your love of Bollywood dancing.
I guess, any child or in the Indian household, you watch your English movies, you watch your Bollywood movies, you also listen to the kind of music. And when I was younger, my mum actually wanted to enroll me in Bollywood dancing. So that's how I joined. I joined the Melanie Kiston Dance Academy. And from there, I joined the Melanie Kiston Dance Troupe. So we'd go around all parts, all around Durban, all around Pietermaritzburg. If there was a show, we would be there dancing. If someone had a private event, they would hire us to dance. She'd sometimes hold productions, staged productions, and we'd be that little dancing pieces in between and stuff. So, yeah.
Wow, so that was professional work.
It was, yeah.
Dancing. Do you still keep it up?
Not so much, no.
Not so much. Now, here's the thing. Give me an idea of scale of the community, the Hindu community in that Durban area. Was it quite a big community?
It's quite a big community, yeah. South Africa, I think we've got millions of people, and we've got every race group and every type of religion as well. One thing that I like about South Africa is the cultural, we accept every culture, and you'll have a mosque on one road and you'll have a church just down the road or a temple just down the road. Let's just say if it's a religious Christian day, the mosque, they'd lower their azan just to have respect for the Christian community. Or if it's a Muslim, an Islamic religious day, then the church would maybe open their yard so people can put their cars in. Everyone's very accepting and very welcoming.
It is a melting pot, isn't it?
It is.
For sure. And how often do you get back? How often do you get back home? Oh, I say home. Is it home still? Or is this home now?
Well, it's kind of a dual home. It's home here and home there.
Yeah.
We try to do, if we can, once a year. We've been home. Last year we went home. We're going home for Christmas this year. It's going to be our first Christmas in 3 years, and we're very excited. It's going to be very hot.
Hot Christmas in South Africa, in Durban, yeah?
Yeah, I think the moment I get my foot down there, I'm going to say, right, I'm happy. I'm ready to come back to the winter wonderland here.
Yeah. Well, have a great trip and a great Christmas. But let's have a fabulous version of a song, Stand By Me. What made you go for this version?
So when I was a kid, you'd watch your cartoons in the morning, right? And then straight after your cartoons, you'd have that ad break and that music video. And I'm not sure exactly what the song was, why this version of the song was created, but it's titled, For the Cause. So I'm assuming there was something that was happening in the world at that time, and that's why this version was released. And I remember seeing this video, and every morning I would watch this video, and I just like it. I like the song Stand By Me. I like every version of it. But I feel as though this is one that you can, move along to.
Really good. Yes!
It is not that funny.
That's fine.
When the night has come and the land is dark. When the night has come. When the night has come and the land is dark.
Yeah.
And the moon is the only light.
What?
And the moon is the only light.
What?
And the moon is the only light. We will see.
When the night
When the night has come.
has
The
come
night has come and the land is dark. When the night
and the land is dark
has come and the land is
and the moon
and the moon is the only
is the only light we'll see.
the moon is the only light. We will see.
No, I won't
No, I won't be afraid.
be afraid. No, I won't be afraid.
No, I won't be afraid.
Just as long
As long
as you stand by me.
as long as you stand
And darling, stand by me.
Come on and stand
By me.
just as long as you stand by me.
If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, all the mountains should crumble to the sea. I won't cry. I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Just as long as you stand by me. That track, or should I say, don't be. Come on and stand by me. Just as long as you stand by me. That track, or should I say, don't be. Come on and stand by me. Come on and stand by me. Just as long.
My guest on MiTunes all this week is Chanelle Sukhoo from the Manx Radio Newsroom. But we haven't yet talked about how she got here and what her plans for the future are. So, Chanelle, just tell me, you came here when?
We got here 2021, August 2021. Yeah.
So just sort of almost middle of pandemic or just after?
Just as it was ending, yeah.
Yeah, gosh, a tricky time to move anywhere.
We could have done the move just before the pandemic, actually, but, everything sort of halted. And it was nice to spend that family time that I got to spend. I had my gran was still alive at that time. Unfortunately, we lost her just after the pandemic or during the pandemic. For the longest of times, we all stayed away. We stayed indoors.
Yeah.
And somehow, one day my dad had to go out for a meeting. So he went out and he came back and we took all precautions. We made him change his shoes. He went straight in the shower and all of that. But it turns out a few weeks later that a few of his colleagues were testing positive. And one of the colleagues that was present at that meeting, I think she had it, and she unfortunately, it spread through her. So in our household, my dad, my brother, and my gran had tested positive. I was negative, but I was showing symptoms. But we were okay. They say that first 10 days are crucial. So we were okay for those 10 days. My gran was absolute fighter that entire 10 days. And unfortunately, on her 10th day is when she asked to be taken into hospital because I think she was having a little bit of difficulties. So she went in, she was admitted, and she was doing absolutely amazing. For the month that she was in ICU because, with COVID, all the hospitals were locked down. No one could go in, no one could go out. But fortunately and luckily for us, the doctor was actually allowing us in. I think I went and saw her on Christmas Day. I saw her, I saw her a few times, and she actually recovered from COVID. But because she was on the bed for about a month, the muscles in her legs had deteriorated. So she couldn't, if she was trying to stand up, she was feeling dizzy. So they moved her out to a normal ward and tried to strengthen her legs so she could come out. And, we were getting the house ready and all excited for her. But unfortunately, in that process, she picked up an infection. And then that's how she, eventually passed. But those few months at home during the pandemic were really nice because she'd read out in the newspaper, we'd get all of these quizzes and stuff, and she'd read it out to all of us at home. And my brother's friends, they'd be playing with him, over the computer, and they'd hear it, and they'd also be shouting out answers. So it was nice family time.
Strong lady.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But eventually, my husband and I came over.
Yeah.
And I think it was in October, I remember applying to Manx Radio. I sent out an email to the newsroom, and Ruby, our HR, she got back to me. And I remember coming in for my interview. There was a whole presentation I had to do. And the entire time so we had Ruby, who's HR, and we had Alex Brindley. And the entire time, Alex just had the biggest smile on his face, and he kept nodding along to everything I was saying. And I remember the moment they walked out, they had a little test for me. And the moment they walked out, I just heard the both of them saying, "Oh, she's so good." Oh. And I think that just touched and melted my heart.
Well, it's great having you here. What sort of subjects, looking forward now? I mean, you cover any old thing on the Isle of Man, but what really sparks you up when you're looking at a subject and you're thinking, I'm going to follow that up? As a journalist, because you're heart and soul journalist, what is it that drives you?
Anyone can email us about something and I think, oh, wow, I'd like to help. I'd like to make a difference. I'd like to take this further. Whatever it is, I'm sure I can help. And if I can, I definitely will. I think that's the gist.
You can't say fairer than that. Let's have a fantastic South African track to finish the week. What's it going to be?
Right. It's Mango Groove.
Yep.
It's Home Talk. And the reason why I chose this one is because I'd go to these flea markets with my family, and there was this one flea market called Stables Flea Market. And you'd get about 2 or 3 guys. Unfortunately, they were amputees, but they would be outside the flea market, drawing with their limbs. And the most beautiful artwork you could ever picture. So they'd be drawing, and there'd be other guys with the flute. And in this song, you hear the flute going off, and that takes me back to that, those childhood days.
Well, it's
a nice dancing song.
It's a very bouncy tune. Chanelle, it's been a wonderful week. Thank you for this. Thank you for everything you're doing at Manx Radio. And here's to the future.
Thank you.
The night birds begin to sing. The
Mango Groove and Home Talk. What a cracking way to end a wonderful week of MiTunes with my guest, Chanelle Sukhoo. I'm Marc Tyley. Get yourself back here for more podcasts every single day at manxradio.com and join me if you can for the morning show, 9:30 to 12, Monday to Friday.